Is there a foreclosure crisis coming? And if so, what will it look like? Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. I got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating, and no rainbows, no sunshine. Just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Foreclosures. We got to talk about them, my friends. We kicked the can down the road, delayed the inevitable. Had we not ushered in stimulus money, stimulus programs, and stimulus measures, we would have already been talking about the foreclosure crisis. And listen, we've had them, booms and busts in the industry, and every time we've had them, they've produced foreclosures. And we've actually seen foreclosure start to uptick, which is a little alarming because we're in one of the most propped up economies and asset classes in world history, in human history. This thing was pumped up with so much stimulus. This should be doing nothing but what it is now, which is practically flatlining, except some areas now are exhibiting volatile crash behavior, even though the money injections were propping them up. We have the two-headed monster. I've reported the runaway train. I've reported about this since day one. When you overheat the biggest asset class in the world, the U.S. housing market, which invites so much foreign investor involvement into it because of that very fact, that is not good, my friends. And we saw more investor involvement ever recorded in world history in this U.S. housing market. And now they are basically in big trouble. And I believe all that investor involvement, we saw Zillow do it, liquidate a lot of homes at a loss in an auction block style setting. They did this very, very, very early on. So there's a lot of warning signs right now in terms of you get to ask yourself, do you think that we'll have foreclosures, or is this time different and it's the new utopia and everything's great? Maybe. I know the news doesn't get any better. Some weird stuff's going on out there in the world today. We should be very alarmed by what we're seeing. And I know many of you are, as well as me and myself and I. But the realities are this. I monitor the biggest asset class in the world for you, the U.S. housing market. I just found myself in a bubble era enjoying a lot of market manipulation, a casino climate, as I was deemed an essential worker. Scott Walters, you're essential. We're gonna create something called FOMO, and we're gonna let you go sell homes while everybody else is stuck at home, and we're just paying them more to stay at home than they were working. Well, you're gonna go make a pile of money working. And I just said, because I lived through 2008, I bought a house towards the top of the bubble, not even at the tippy top. It was a falling knife, and I caught that thing, and I didn't like the taste it left in my mouth. But it taught me an important lesson. I don't regret it anymore. I just don't want to go do the same thing over expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. I was like, I will never let real estate own me the way it did there. And now you've just been lucky enough, and anybody I've worked with, to have somebody that always puts your needs before my own, and we look at real estate the way investors look at it. It's not important to own your home. It's just important to own. So even if it's your first home, I want you to examine it and make sure it pencils out. That way, if and when you're ready and you want to enter the world of investing in real estate, you can hop out of there, renter goes in, and you hold on to the property. We stack up a few. And Scott gets to sell you houses for life, not just one. It's just one. These real estate agents want to sell you one house. I want to sell one. I'm off to my next one. Zillow's got a new lead for me. I'm going to go call them and see if they want to buy. No, get a small core group of people you service. That's the way it's always been in real estate. Whew. Insanity, this stuff. I continue to get off topic because I just love this stuff so much, and you guys, helping you guys. If you're new, subscribe right away. Never been a more important time in history to get centered and surrounded with like-minded people. But the realities are this, friends. I believe investors are going to run for the exits in a mighty big way. Those interest rates aren't going to save. Yeah, but Scott, we've heard that people have low interest rates, and so they're not going to sell their homes because then they have to rebuy at a higher. Guess what? The investors don't care about the interest rate. They care about returns on investment. They're going to saturate this market. Mark my words. The builders that drank the Kool-Aid in the game of musical chairs and then the music stopped, they're right now in a race against time, a race against the clock. They're building homes in an accelerating market. No, that's when they started though. Now it's going down. And if you're shooting at a moving target, what do you have to do? Lead your shot. Price reductions, incentives, rate buy downs. We've heard it all. So I want to remind, and if you want to know what a foreclosure crisis is going to look like. Thank you for sticking around because I'm going to get to it right now. What it's going to look like is this, my friends. It's going to look like they're going to start, and then data's going to start to roll in, and guess who's going to get a hold of it? Not Scott. Well, he's already got a hold of it. Mainstream media. As soon as mainstream media gets a hold of this, because if it bleeds, it leads, handed down from a newsroom, no forward thinker, critical thinkers there. It's on. People will panic. And we're one news event away from a race to the bottom. But even if we don't get it, when you have unorganic growth, it's always going to have crash risks. So you get to decide what percentage of likelihood you put on this one. For me, it's 100%. Clear. But I'm ready for it. And I know many of you are too. We're going to navigate through it quite nicely. I'm quite sure of that one. What do you got to lose? Insulate yourself? Save a bunch of cash? Oh, you're stupid. You should go buy a house. No. If you buy a house, just check to make sure it pencils out. Make sure you get with me and we'll do that. But the reality is this. When the investors start dumping homes, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to see foreclosures start. You're going to see mainstream media get a hold of it. You're going to see the government step in and try to initiate bailouts, loan modification programs. That's what we had in the last bubble. They called it the loan mod program. You could modify your loan and put the balance on the back end. Didn't work. It didn't work. People got bamboozled. Right now as we speak, as the banks are ultra fragile, exposed, in panic mode, guess what they're doing? They're packaging up all these loans and they're selling the servicing rights off to other banks. They're selling the service right of your loan. If you have a mortgage, your loan is about to get sold. You're about to get notification. That's what they did in the last bubble. And so then what happened is that we, of course, have to do a bailout just the way we bailed out Silicon Valley Bank and the other banks. They receive bailouts. Do you think the biggest asset class in the world won't receive a bailout if a foreclosure crisis starts? Oh, yes. But guess what? Didn't work. Didn't work. You see, when you have a runaway train that's left the station, it's not coming back, a two-headed monster that we can't put back in the cage. Of course you're not going to be able to save it. It's a runaway train. The only thing possibly I've thought about, as this wouldn't shock me, government steps in and says, sign here, you can stay in the house, but we now own it. There could be some crazy stuff like you own nothing, but you'll be happy. That's why right now is the most important time to diversify ourselves, to own tangible assets like silver or gold or real estate or cold hard cash. Don't have it all digits on a screen. I wouldn't put all my money on digits in a screen or a digital coin. I just wouldn't. I mean, it's going to be a very small few that actually are going to be able to say they own anything pretty soon. So now is the time to start thinking about real estate. And I've shown you a bunch of areas that it comes down to risk tolerance. I urge every one of you to do this. Start looking at areas where cost to carry is below its rent range and you can buy a house and sit on it or stick a renter in there and just own something. Don't go all in on real estate, but put some of it there if you can. If you can't, just insulate yourself. Get your popcorn, pull up a seat, and watch this thing play out, because I don't think we're out of the woods by any stretch. And I'm going to continue to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video on your screen, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.